What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another EU4 time lapse, and today we are doing 32 Tech Ethiopia. I'm just curious to see the AI form Aksum, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that happens. So Ethiopia has got 32 Tech, and as I've noted, the AI in this game will do the mission trees, but they very rarely dev provinces. So mission trees that require provinces to be at certain developments, the AI will just get gated on those. So we have taken Ethiopia, and there's like 2 provinces they have to have at 15 development. I put those at 15 development, I gave them 32 tech, and other than that, I let it ride, and let's see what happened. Early on, I'm hoping we'll see some rapid, there it is, that rapid expansion from Ethiopia. It's always the fun thing in these 32 tech videos is that the country that gets buffed usually just goes hard early, taking the countries around them, and Ethiopia is expanding rapidly at this point, quite rapidly. They are starting to push into the territory of the Mamluks. In the rest of the world, sort of playing out as we would expect it to play out. Ming isn't doing anything, Muscovy is expanding, France is unifying, and England is releasing Northumbria, I think. Alright, you do you. Ethiopia continues to consolidate the Horn of Africa. One of the things that I love about these 32 tech time lapses is how much buffing one country can impact the rest of the world. And we see that sort of as it gets later and later, and a country that might normally colonize an area can't because the 32 tech beat them there, or a country that normally dominates, like the Ottomans, they're probably not going to dominate this game because I would expect Ethiopia will continue to expand, being so much stronger than everyone else. It might result in a weaker Ottoman, which could result in a very different Eastern Europe, and really just Europe as a whole. Ethiopia's expansion has slowed down a little bit, but it does look like they are starting to push the Mamluks. They're starting to take some of that Egyptian territory and starting to expand their control over there. The rest of the sort of the African region, we've got Songhai, seems to be the power in Western Africa. And then we look at Iberia. Is that Leon? Leon has gained their independence in Iberia, so there's some weird stuff going over there. England has managed to unify Scotland at least, but the rest of the Irish Isles, there is still an independent country in and of itself. Ming has exploded, as just always happens. Muscovy has just formed Russia, as well also regularly happens. Sweden has nearly taken Norway. No, they're just like the same kind of color, so yeah, nope, never mind. Sweden's doing its thing, and Russia is now invading Sweden. The Timurids are looking pretty strong. And I'm kind of surprised that Ethiopia is not expanding as fast as I would have thought they would have expanded. They've sort of taken their home region, pushed a little bit into Egypt, but other than that, they're kind of just sitting back and doing their thing. Shun is doing really well in China, and that's one of the things that I've noticed recently. Shun does really, really well in China when Ming explodes, which, I mean, at this point, can we just say it's every video? Because it seems like every single video Ming is exploding. Leon still exists, and Castile just seems to be kind of letting them. So, I don't know, that's kind of cool. Castile is the one that is colonizing South America and North America, and it might partially because it looks like they've started to invade Portugal, and that might be limiting Portugal's ability to colonize. We do see England now has basically the 13 colonies, Florida, that east coast of the United States. The Mughals have formed, so Timurid was able to expand enough to form the Timurids. Timbuktu is looking like they are going to try to compete with Songhai for that West African power, and Ethiopia has completely ignored whether, the desire to invade the rest of Africa. They are just going for the Middle East, and they are really starting to put a hammer to the Ottomans, who are attempting to flee north, and it'll be interesting to see if they're able to make anything of that flight path heading north into Poland, Lithuania. Poland is actually completely gone in Nitra. That is not a country we see very often. Nitra appears to be the one who has invaded Poland as well as invaded Hungary. There is weird stuff going on in Europe right now. Castile owns South America, and it looks like they're going to divide up North America with England, who is just slowly moving west and taking more and more of that North American territory. Ethiopia has hit the Mughals. That's unfortunate. I like to see the Mughals. They got a nice dark green color, and I don't know, they're wicked powerful. So the Mughals have been nearly completely wiped out. Not the Mughals. The Mughals are definitely getting wiped out. The Ottomans have been nearly completely wiped out, and Songhai is the one that's coming to power in that West African region. Leon is still doing well, and they have cleaned up Portugal. Leon is, I don't know, can we say they're a power in the Iberian Peninsula? Probably not, because, well, they're not. I also think if that is Ireland, then England and Ireland are just existing together peacefully, accepting the existence of one another. The Oirat is expanding quite a bit. Songhai continuing to expand. That's something really cool to see. I cannot get over that Nitra. The United States has gotten their independence in about 1750, so about 25 years early, but hey, you know what? Weird stuff happens. 25 years early is not as weird as Ethiopia conquering the known world. Ming doesn't have a coastline, and Ceylon just ate what was rest of Russia over there. Russia is gone, and Ethiopia continues to push north. Canada has gained their independence, and the United States is going to war with Spain over continuing to take those pushing further and further westward provinces. Scandinavia has formed. That Oirat is, and honestly, I was just about to comment on Ceylon, and there it is. In 1795 or so, Ethiopia has formed Aksum. I was getting a little worried there, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, this entire thing was just so we could see Aksum in giant letters across the map, and the AI was not participating well. The AI was not doing what I wanted them to do, and I was getting a little disappointed in them. But we've got Aksum just in time for the end of the time lapse. And so with that, let's take a look and see what the world looks like in 1821 after we buff Ethiopia with, well, I was going to say modern day technology, but really 1820s technology. Europe got weird. In Iberia, we've got Castile, but we also have Leon playing the role of Portugal. We've got Aragon, but don't worry, Catalonia got their independence. Ireland formed and has what I would guess is a great relation with Great Britain. Yep, they are allied with Great Britain. Lubeck decided to become the new Prussia. Nitra, who was like the hero of this video, is still alive, but they have seen better days. Both Austria and Bohemia do exist. They're just very, very small. And Venice just decided to, I don't know, colonize the Balkans. Hey, Transylvania. That's not something we see every day. That's kind of cool. I believe Sofala is one of the new African formables. I might be wrong, and you can correct me in the comments if I am, but I think Sofala is a new formable. I love the idea that there was an Indian nation that was like, hey, these Europeans are talking about this great country, Rome. Let's like embrace the Roman culture and, you know, we'll be the dominant power in India. And then someone just made a spelling error and instead it's Prome. The Indonesian region is very colonized. Holland with the colonial game taking Mexico and Cuba. I did not even notice the AI formed Inca. That's awesome. Religiously, Ethiopia just decided to give up that whole Coptic thing and go Sunni. The Protestants is just the Holy Roman Empire in the Nordic countries. Basically, everyone else is Catholic or Sunni and then Anglican England. But don't worry, all of South America, outside of those red spots, which is animist. So there's some small animist places in South America. Culturally, it seems like the biggest expansion was the Yemeni. That is a big Yemeni culture group. And then in North America, I think because the United States formed so early, we have a large section of American culture. And then randomly, Canada is Irish. Oh, and Colombia is too. Canada and Colombia are Irish. Dynastically, England and Ireland share a dynasty. The De Trastemeras reign in the Nordic states, but not in Castile, so they just kind of left their country for a different one. And let's be clear, a colder one. Interesting life decision. My favorite part about this development map mode is that Aksum was the strongest country in, like, the world and controls a huge chunk of territory, but seemingly rules over the least developed portion of the world. And finally, the great powers of the world. We have got Aksum with 4973 development, followed by Castile with 2300, Great Britain with 1500, the United States with 1300, coming in fourth place. USA, USA, USA. Anyway, we've got France, you know, shortly behind us with 1311. The Mughals with 1059, Canada with 906, and Venice with 9 100. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the rise of Aksum. If you guys have an idea of what country you would like to see buffed next, do leave a comment down below. And hey, while you're there, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, because it really does help me out with these videos, with these channels. So if you want to find a way to support me, the best way you can do that is to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Wreath out.